folks, welcome to the Love School, confronting myth and misinformation in relationship, where husbands and singles learn intelligent love. Yeah, but you learn intelligent love, listening is not enough. You have to practice, because when you get to know something, it doesn't know that you know something. You only know when you do it. This is a secret that many people doesn't realize. They think that in general way, to study a subject, to learn about a subject, makes them unknown the subject. The theory looks like a very, very life, as if we knew. I remember that when I was learning English, in my head, I spoke very well English. I spoke so well. I spoke very well without accent, but when I opened my mouth, what was in my head didn't go through my mouth, because I had to practice. You cannot know if you don't practice. You stay with this theory very stiff, as if you couldn't see in truth in your life. You have the information. It is true. It works really. But it and my life is very far away from each other. This is what happens. And this is what you said. People, they give a lot of more importance of knowing than practicing. Yeah, it is like we see like we observe, because there are many student diplomatic that are unemployed. It's not a problem of lack of employment. But the problem is that they don't have capacity for the employment market. They don't have the practice, and when they tried, they showed that they didn't know many things. As if there are many people without study, much more capable than people that are studious. People without study, but they have experience in the job. The practice is what really makes you know something. For example, why we're saying this? Because of this student, that she's making a question, and we're going to answer her. The student says, "Hello, Renata and Chris. I am married for 5 years, and we have a son. I follow the Love School since I got married." So she's been married for 5 years with a son, and she follows the School of Love since she got married. She follows. Please help me. I saw for 7 times pornography videos, and naked woman studying the story of my husband. I'm feeling very bad. He promised that he wouldn't do this again. He said that's only a custom, but I cannot trust him, because in all the 7 times he said the same thing. And there's been somebody saying that he's been cheating me. Do you think that he saw the things because he doesn't think I'm beautiful or attractive? Doesn't he feel interested in me? So that's why we started talking. She follows the Love School for 5 years, but it looks like she doesn't practice what she has heard, if she has heard for 5 years. And this question that she makes about her, it's very common. Many women, when they are cheated on, they make this question. They question themselves. Is the other one, did he lose interest in me because the other is more beautiful? What is wrong with me? And when in truth, it's not this. In truth, when the man cheats, when he watches porno, he's being a bad character. He's simply being a bad character person. He wants what is not his, wanting other women. So it's nothing to do about you being more ugly, more fat, or whatever. That has nothing to do one with the other. And usually, when the woman makes these questions, instead of her solving the problem, she's only feeling the problem. She keeps feeling inferior, and many times she starts having behavior because of this complex that she starts to have. And they are not behaviors that will not solve the problem. Yeah, she thinks that some women think they have to compete with the women, the men see in pornographic. So she wants to watch together. Since I cannot do anything, so let me try to join it together. Let me try to make something that he likes. So he won't search in other places. So some women, they put the blame on themselves. But students, you have to understand that really it's not about you, it's about him. This is addiction. He acquired addiction. He doesn't recognize. He thinks that he can stop whenever he wants, whenever he decides. When in truth, he's already addicted in pornographic. So it's a addiction as any other addiction. So the problem is his. It's not your problem. The problem that you have is it has happened for 7 times. This is the last time. Another time here it repeats the story. And why does he continue returning and doing it? One is because it's an addiction, but the other because he can. Because he sees the first time and the second and third and fourth and fifth and the sixth and seventh. There were no consequences. And man, the human being, especially men, he reacts at consequences. If he does not suffer the consequence, then there is no motivation for him to not do it again. If the consequence is small, then he prefers to pay the consequence than to give up of that behavior. But if the consequence is serious, value enough for him, so then he have a motivation to stop and abandon that behavior. So this is what's lacking on your part, is a consequence. He does not see consequence to see pornography and being caught that there's no consequence. So what is the motive that he has to stop? This is addiction. And many times the consequence that the person gives is a consequence that emotive, rational. She fights at him. She tells everything on him, but she continues with him. So he thinks, if she caught me again doing this is what I'm gonna have. So I have to be like this for 1 month. I've been through this, I'll go through again. So maybe you feel bad for him. Sometimes you look at him. When a person makes a mistake, they start to cry and ask for forgiveness. I love you. You're the woman of my life. I have no eyes for other women. It's a lie. You're the woman of my life. No, that's not true. And he starts to cry. And the woman, she starts, moved with his tears. And she says, yeah, maybe he really repented. She thinks that his repentance is in his tears. Or maybe in his words, the beautiful words that he says. And it's not there. The true repent is not there. It's not in the words. It's not in the cry. On that attitude that sometimes he starts to buy flowers. He starts to compensate for what he's done. This is not the repentance. So when you give a chance to the person based on this type of, let's say, forgiveness, this type of forgiveness, in truth, you're giving him more chances to mistake. Because then he'll think, well, if I cry, if I say this and this and that, I'll give her flowers, and I'll say this and enough. Okay, what do you have to do? So then you have to be strong enough before doing what you're gonna say that you have to do. You have to be strong, because only a strong woman, a secure woman, a confident woman of herself, a woman that respects herself and values herself, has strength to do what we're going to say. If you're not this woman yet, then you cannot do, because it's not going to work. You have to first search, try to be strong as a woman, and then do what we're going to say. Because a strong woman has no difficulty what we're going to counsel here. And what do you have to do to end this behavior? Is to tell your husband, hey dear, pay attention. Cut out this crap. Cut out the lies. Cut out the blah blah blah. Oh yeah, when I want to stop, cut it out, cut it out, because I know that you're doing, and I'm not a type of woman that's going to tolerate this type of things in this house. I tolerated in the past. I'm not going to tolerate it again, and I'm communicating to you this decision. If you start to do this again, then you're going to lose your wife. Then you choose this woman there that doesn't know that you exist. Those false women, these addictions, or your wife, your family, because they have a son. You choose. If you want to stop it and can't do it, then you have to seek help. If you want to stop, I will fight together with you for you to win this addiction. But I will not accept lies that you minimize a strong problem in our marriage. So decide, what is your decision? What is going to be? There's only one answer that you're going to accept from your husband. And the answer is, really, I have been unshameful. I have a problem. I'm addicted. And if I can't stop, I have to search for help. This is the only question. This is the only answer you have to hear. Any other thing is bullshit. If you're a strong woman, you won't have a problem to identify the bullshit and not to tolerate this from his part. Okay? And that's enough. But to get to this point, you have to be a strong woman. Yeah, because to say this, in theory, you can say it. But if he decides to, maybe he'll probably do this test. That is, this is all from out of mouth. Because she already tolerated seven times, she'll tolerate another time. So, when he tests you to see if you really secure of what you said, if you're not strong, you will let loose. You're not going to go to the end. But for this to work, you have to be prepared to give the consequence. And the consequence is he's going to lose you. You're going to tell him to go back to his father's house, or are you going to be at your father's house, and not going to return until he recognizes and tells you the only answer that you want to hear. The only answer that fits to someone who recognizes the errors and wants to change. So if you can't be this strong woman, you've been listening to this whole school for 5 years, so you must know the address where you have to go and participate on the service and learn how to be this woman that values herself. When the woman does not value herself, hardly the man will value her. This is all for today. Students will return tomorrow with another of school answers. See you.